don't listen to the whys. Be a why not. That's what I've really realized is the most important thing in life. Is be a why not. Be somebody who lives your life always trying. Because it's the second that you stop trying that you start dying. And I feel like I almost got to that place. And Manic Expression turned it all around.
Feel good about where you stand. I know this great enlightened man who said, turn the other cheek, not pull the trigger, man. Love your enemies, not kill them, or hunt them down if you can't will them. With the blood of women and children in your Save the World plan.
Manic Expression is what?
Manic Expression is my cup of tea.
Manic Expression is what?
Manic Expression is Crystal.
Manic Expression is what?
Manic Expression is vile and depraved!
Manic Expression what?
Manic Expression rocks!
Manic Expression is more than a website. Founded in January of 2012 by author James Daniel Walsh and named after his book series. Manic Expression is a close-knit community of writers and performers. Frustrated by an ever more vitriolic internet landscape, Walsh began writing what would become a popular series of blogs, Stop the Hate, in 2009. After departing from MediaSlayer.com, Walsh worked with Megan Wessels, the founder of NetDwellers.com, and singer-songwriter Les Lorna to build Manic Expression into something more than the average website. Swelling to over 200 members in its first year on word of mouth alone, Manic Expression has never lost the spirit in which it was started, to be a safe place in an ever more dangerous internet, where its members could express themselves without fear of being attacked. While Manic Expression is host to typical web content such as blogs, videos and podcasts, it is the supportive and collaborative spirit of its members that separate it from other such sites. At Manic Expression there are no stars, no one is raised above anyone else. Anyone can influence the direction of the site. New members are greeted warmly. Outstanding content is singled out and lauded, and if a member finds themselves with a problem, there are no shortage of friends willing to listen. So how did this happen? In a cyber world dominated by negativity and bullying, how does a group of strangers from around the world come together to form a community?
I was born in a little suburb of Long Beach called Lakewood, California. Born in 1980, born right at the sort of beginning of this decade of pop culture that feels like it's just going on. I mean, I feel like the 80s never really died. We've just, it's gotten bigger. And I had a pretty wretched home life, really. You know, I had a mother and father who were always working. And kind of always angry. Left home not under the best of circumstances. Ended up actually checking myself into a mental hospital for a few days because when I was 19, because I basically had a fight with my parents and knew I had to leave. Lived in absolute abject poverty until I met my girlfriend Katie in 2006, and we moved in together, and suddenly I had 3 children because she has 2 daughters, Olivia and Madison, and I was suddenly a stay-at-home dad. The isolation of being a stay-at-home dad, not having any friends, or having friends, but they're all back in California. You know, it does get to you sometimes. Stop the Hate was such an important thing when Stop the Hate came along. Because suddenly I was talking to people every day. It was just that I was talking to them through the internet. And we were having these deep philosophical discussions about everything from, you know, about politics to Ewoks. And it was sort of everything that I wanted friendships to be, but they never really were for me.
Thing is, James and I, we go back to Media Slayer Productions. We were both associates on there. And after that site was abruptly ended by He Who Must Not Be Named.
You know, she had asked me to become a part of Net Dwellers, and I gladly did that. And I told her, I said, I don't think I'm going back. I can't go back to that main site. And, you know, I don't know what that means for Stop the Hate, because that's where most of my audience was at this other site. And she said, well, hang on a second. Let me try something. And next thing I knew, she sent me a link. And she said, does this help? And I clicked on it, and it was a Manic Expression site. You know, it was manicexpression.webs.com. And it said Stop the Hate across it. And it was, at that point, I mean, it was the most bare bones thing in the world. You know, but it was a site of my own. And I thought, I mean, I remember clicking on it, and I went, huh, okay, I guess we're going to keep going.
And, you know, I think that's very encouraging to join a site and have, you know, people, you know, immediately, even if you don't get a lot of comments, the people who do leave comments, they try to be insightful and they try to help you. And I really like that about Manic Expression. So yeah, I would say it went really well when I started posting on there. I decided to start doing my web show shortly after getting into the Nostalgia Critic.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. I remember it so you don't have to.
They had the balls to give one of the greatest superheroes of all time a Bat credit card? No!
Yes, I saw the Angry Video Game Nerd before the Nostalgia Critic, but the Nostalgia Critic really was an inspiration, if you couldn't tell. It just seemed like a lot of fun, and he looked like he was having a blast doing it, so I wanted to do something similar. And I wanted to do something that at the time no one else was doing, and that's how the Fanfic Critic came to be.
Hello, I'm the Fanfic Critic. I read it, you listen.
My decisions for creating the character could have been a little better at the time, but seeing I'm almost at the 200th episode, there's no point in really changing it now. Started the Fanfic Critic when I was like 19 years old, 23 now, so I've been doing it for like about 4 years. It's kind of hard to believe at this point. But yeah, Doug Walker was definitely an inspiration, not just to me, but to plenty of others.
What was one of the first comments I got on that video? Was it, "You're an NC ripoff, shut the hell up"? Oh, but there was another comment that was even better than that. "Shut the up, and this is my movie. You do not talk about my movie." The first one, kind of a confidence breaker. The second one, hilarious to me. I am Y-Boy of the show Cartoon Corner and of the written series Y-Boy Spotlights. But I am also Vanilla the Trollette, Harold the Assistant to the Devil, Obnoxious the 13 Ghost and Demon Chest, I am Smolder the Dragon, and I'm also Puppet. And I review animated movies and shows. In high school, I took some creative writing courses, did really well in that, and the epitome of that was doing a murder mystery play for my school with 6 other writers, writing all the characters, the scenarios, and all that. And then I decided to become a writer. My time during high school, where I was feeling very alone during that time, feeling very lonely, sad, all that jazz. As all my friends were drifting away from me doing all their things, and me being basically the lackey of the group, I really had no place with them anymore. So, decided to do videos to make myself feel like I was doing something during that time. So I believe I started thinking like that in March of 2010. And my first video on Troll in Central Park went up in August of 2010. Hello, I'm Y-Boy, and welcome to my show, Cartoon Corner. Yeah, it took me a long freaking time. And I do not accept the reasoning of making lackluster animated movies and shows. It's for kids. That phrasing just pisses me off. Every time I hear it from a reviewer or whatever, it just pisses me off. Because when they usually say that, they usually say it after they point out a lot of stuff bad with the characters, the plot, and all that. And they say, oh, it's for kids, so it's alright. No! No, it's not alright. If there's something bad with the plot, the writer screwed up and didn't think through it because he was lazy and thought the same thing. Oh, it's for kids, so yeah. Because I try to live by that. The rule of not saying, oh, it's for kids.
Hello guys, I'm Tom Paradox. I'm the writer, producer, and editor of The Midnight Hour, a show typically reviewing music and games, possibly more things to come in the future. So today I'm pretty much going to show you how I make my videos. It's going to be a simple, brief introduction to give you a look inside or behind the scenes, I guess, if you will, to pretty much what this jumbled mess looks like and how hard it is to make. Believe me, it's really hard to be this bad. So as always, folks, without further ado, roll the footage. After I finally pick out my topic of choice, I generally just do some basic research, see the developer that made the game, see what the release date is, and from there I just purchase it, play it, and move on to recording. Now, for recording on the PC, I do recommend Fraps is what I personally use. Now, if I'm recording something on a console like the PS3, I use the Hauppauge HD PVR. Now, the Hauppauge is not the best thing out there, it's just what I personally use. I have heard some good things about the Elgato game capture though, so definitely do your research before purchasing one of these capture cards. Now on to the writing process. The writing process generally takes me 2 to 3 days, and it's pretty much where I bash my head against a keyboard to see what I can come up with. Now to move on to the really fun part, recording audio. For all my audio needs on camera or off camera, I use the M-Audio Producer. It is a condenser microphone connected with a standard USB. On average you can find for $40 to $50, and the software I use with it is Studio One. It's a freeware. Look it up, I highly recommend it. Now for voiceovers, I typically do 1 to 2 takes, and whichever take I'm happy with, I just throw into Adobe Premiere Elements and move on. Now on to filming. Filming generally takes maybe 30 minutes at the most after I get the tripod and everything set up, which that's pretty quick. And the lights I'm using are the Cowboy Studio photography lights. I have a set of 4. I currently have 2 set up due to the fact that I broke the bulbs to the other ones. And the camera I'm using is a T3i. I typically use the 50mm 1.8 lens to film reviews. And the tripod, I will list a model number right below my head. It's a Ambico 3, 4, something, I'm not for sure. But it's old, but it gets the job done. So anyhow, I go over mine about 2 or 3 times off camera, then just hit record and turn on the microphone and move on. Now on to editing. Now this is pretty much what it looks like in editing after all the loading screens and various other guff is cut. Now the software I use is Adobe Premiere Elements 9, and it gets the job done pretty well. And this took about, say, 150 gigabytes on my hard drive. So I would recommend, if you're going to do something like this, I would get an external storage device at some point. Now, while I would love to show you some footage of this review, but due to angry letters, death threats, and lawsuits, I cannot. So check out my review of The Wolf Among Us at Manic Expression under a similar name. So now, folks, a huge shout out and thank you to James and all the Manic Expression community. Thank you so much for watching my content, putting up with me and all my crazy shenanigans. Thank you so much, guys. As always, folks, this is Time Paradox signing off.
My name is John Weber, and I am better known as the comic strip critic, the host of The Punchline. I'm 24 years old. I'm a freelance video editor, working not too far from Cleveland, Ohio. Comic strips, not everybody reads. Everybody knows about some of them. Everybody knows Garfield and Peanuts and Calvin and Hobbes. But some of the ones that I was looking at, not everybody knew. So my first two videos, Beetle Bailey and Baby Blues, got about 75 to 100 hits that first week, I'm gonna guess. But my third week, I did Foxtrot. So, with that in mind, let's roll back the clock and see what the Fox family was up to in 1996's Foxtrot Beyond a Doubt. I did a Foxtrot storyline about a secret admirer Paige had, and it was well done. I took a good look at it. I had a very funny ending, which is something that's I think is important to have. I do kind of wonder, though, would a girl in real life react the same way that Paige did in Foxtrot if this sort of thing happened to her? Well, for the sake of experimentation, I've been leaving love letters anonymously to my sister all week. Let's see what happens when I tell her the news. I'm your comic strip critic. I read the funny pages and hope that someday they... Oh, jeez! Where did you get a switchblade? Oh, my arm!
I'm just getting started, you insensitive jerk.
And on Twitter, I sent the link to the video off to Louis Lovehog, Linkara, and Bill Ament, who is the creator of Foxtrot. And Linkara retweeted it to all of his followers, and I thought that was really cool because it meant I was on his radar, even if it was just a tiny bit, and all of his fans had seen it, and so I got a bunch of people from him. But Bill Ament also retweeted it to all of his followers too, and he also added a little reply saying, "This is great." And the views for that Foxtrot video shot through the roof, and it's still my most viewed video right now. It's got 3 times as much as my next viewed video. That was sort of the moment for me when I realized that, yeah, I might actually be able to do something here. I got a private message on my YouTube inbox one day from, shoot, I think it was Jim Bevan, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm never quite sure with these things. And he told me, hey, I'm a member of this blogging and vlogging site called Manic Expressions. You want to come and put your stuff on here. You don't have to do anything. This is it. You can just come and put it on. We're just a little community that shares our stuff. And I said, it's a place for more people to see the punchline. It's a little community where I can get some decent feedback and see what other people are doing. Maybe learn from other people. And it's a nice little place. There's some good people on there. And that's how I found Manic Expressions.
Well, you see, I didn't find Manic Expression so much as it found me. Oh, I go by so many names in the numerous different forms of reality, but my most common in the online realm is Shibby, though I'm also widely known as the man behind the mask in some of my videos as well. I'm a video producer, most known for my series Let's Talk About Hockey that explores the history of ice hockey.
Greetings, I'm the man behind the mask, and I would like to talk to you about hockey.
The NHL teams would be allowed to play at the Arena Gardens, effectively foreclosing Livingston's effort to resurrect the NHA.
It was late this past January when I found a message in my inbox of my email from my good friend Les, who I met while blogging on thatguywiththeglasses.com. In it he stated that he and his friend James, the one who produced the Stop the Hate blogs, were trying to start up a new blogging community site and wanted to know if I'd be interested in joining. Needless to say, that was all he had to say before I was there and signing up for an account.
Well, James messaged me personally to ask me to be his partner in the site and to help recruit new members. I'm Les. Single father, singer, pianist, entertainer, blogger, site admin, surrogate uncle in cyberspace. Well, after weeks of just commenting on other people's blogs, I realized that I had a lot to say, and blogging was the next logical step. Videos was the next step after that. World domination is next.
And that was how Manic Expression really started. And I didn't expect anything from it. at all. I thought that, maybe we'd get to 25 members. It would go for, 6 months, and then it would all collapse. Nobody would post anything, and after a while, it would just become kind of a defunct site. And to my great astonishment, it just kept getting bigger and bigger, and rapidly so. Everybody pretty much that I invited over came, and my job became less about writing Stop Hate, more about looking for members and building the site and finding people to help build the site. And people were very eager to. I mean, I didn't understand it until Les really explained it to me. Les said that, I said, I don't know how this is happening. I don't know, what's going on? How is this site getting as big as it is? And he said, look, you and I have always cared about our reputations as writers and as people who encourage other writers and other bloggers and other people who do videos and stuff. And I think people, he pointed out, people are hungry for that. People want to go someplace and post and be safe from the trolls. And that was Les and I agreed that was rule number one. There would be no trolling on Manic Expression.
Hello! Today I'd like to talk to you about Belua Indicium Textus, or what is more commonly known as the Internet Troll. The Internet Troll is a rare yet not very elusive predator. It targets the weak, the helpless, the sick, and most everybody it can, with vile attacks and verbal jabs not meant to make any kind of conversational point, but to cause distress and suffering in those around them. The troll is empowered by its anonymity and sense of invulnerability, but there are steps you can take to fight back. First, I must warn you, do not engage against them in a battle of wits, for as well thought out and good of a refutation you could make for any of their points, trolls are immune to these methods, ignoring all points made to continue attacking blindly, though perhaps more focused on those they know will respond. To defeat a troll, one must first disengage and pretend the offender isn't even there. On Manic Expression, you may also report a troll to any admin, and after a proper investigation, they will be taken care of with minimal conflict. The last method, and arguably the most fun, is to toy with the troll long enough to trace their signal back to where they live. And then, under the cover of night,
This is just going to be a safe place. This is going to be the place people come to, and people may not always agree with them, but God damn it, people are going to have a creative outlet where the input they get, good or bad, is respectful and helpful. And I think he was right. I think people were hungry for it. I think people needed it.
A lot of the people who were on That Guy with the Glasses were also on Manic Expression. There was Movie Fan 12, there was also Les. There was a guy named Dark Jack who was there. And then I met a whole bunch of other great people. I met James, I met Sydney, I met Disney Otoku, I met James Baven, I met some jerk from Boston, I met Tim Deanna, Decker Shadow, Big Black Hat Man, Brett Club 85. My name is Patricia. I'm the co-founder of the blog Old School Lane, member of Manic Expression. I'm 26 years old. I live in Florida. I'm currently just a regular data entry tech person during the day, and at night I blog, and I do the occasional podcast. It was a really tough childhood for me growing up. Not because of my parents or anything like that, but because I was born with Asperger's syndrome. Asperger's syndrome is a high-functioning autism. I have difficulties when it comes to social skills and interacting with people. When it comes to doing things educational-wise, I've always been great at that. In fact, I was always the best in my class. A lot of kids teased me with that, called me teacher's pet. It was around New Year's Eve. I was just posting this one article just for fun, and also the fact that I didn't see any other articles like this. I am a big Pee Wee Herman fan, and I decided, you know, he was doing like really excellent with his comeback ever since 2010. But in 2011, he did equally amount of great things, but nobody was talking about it. So I decided to write about it. And so I typed it down. I listed off the 10 things that I thought that he did excellent this year, posted it on the blog. I sent it to him via Twitter and Facebook, just for fun. I didn't think he was going to read it. I woke up the next morning and I was shocked to see that one of the administrators of Tumblr, which is where old schooling was at first, and it said Pee-wee himself tweeted. I couldn't believe it. Was this for real? So I checked. It was there. It gave like this big thank you, and I was smiling. I was crying, actually, that he was able to really like it.
I actually found Manic Expression through Les when he was known as Positive Troll and That Guy with the Glasses. Hi, my name is Gurning Chimp. I'm from Manchester, England, across the Atlantic Sea, and I do mostly James Bond reviews.
Did you like that video? Of course you did, you're still here, aren't you?
One day he just sent the link to it, and I thought, yeah, sure, joined up and never looked back. Thank you, Les. Yeah, it mostly started because of a critic's view on Quantum of Solace. The critic's name was Mark Commode, and I just thought he didn't get the film. I mean, a lot of the critics of that film, I didn't think they got it. So I thought, well, 2012 now, Skyfall is coming out at the end of the year, so I might as well have a flick through the films again and write my thoughts down. Just because I really think that the James Bond genre is just judged all wrong. The Manic Expression helped me realise that there are people on the internet who are not just going to call you a faggot for not agreeing with their opinion, and even if they don't agree with your opinion, they'll actually debate and give proper reasons why they don't agree. It also taught me that friends have no boundaries, and that you can create a loving, supportive community on the internet, as well as be entertaining, informative, and get a sense of satisfaction from it.
Checking all the junk mail, some of the stuff that was going on with YouTube, some of the stuff that was spam, and I came across Manic Expression. It was just one of the fifth things that I saw. I will just introduce myself. Some of you guys have known me by my real name, Edwin Lee Pope, born 1977 on April the 13th. Loved that month, loved that date, loved that year. So when I saw Manic Expression, I said, oh, okay, so obviously somebody from That Guy with Glasses sent this to me. I clicked it on, and it sent, and there's like a link bar that sent me straight to Manic Expression. Now, when I saw it, I immediately realized it was a new site, and it quickly became my home to start sharing my views as well as my my creative stories with the rest of the community, and I haven't looked back since. It has actually been a wonderful experience. It has been an encouraging experience because that was the final nail in the coffin to encourage me to continue working on my creativity, continue working on my writing, continue improving myself despite the disability that I have. I have suffered due to cause of lead poisoning, which I haven't told anybody about this, so the fact that I'm telling it here really says something. I might as well just let you guys know, in case you're wondering why a lot of my words are sometimes a little bit off. There is the reason. It's something that I've been struggling for a very, very long time. I believe Les knows about it more, and a couple people who are closest to me in terms of the community knows that, but it's been a very, very hard struggle dealing with that kind of situation, and it got to the point where I didn't really care for much of anything. I didn't like reading because I couldn't comprehend what the hell was going on without pictures. It wasn't until I got into my junior high school that a teacher who was very, very good and was very, very motivated. She motivated me more than any other teacher I had in a long time. Have shown me how to read and also encouraged me to write. And that pretty much got my love for telling stories. It was a very, very thrilling thing to discover.
I think I'm a talented actor. It has been my hobby for pretty much my whole life, and I've actually had training for it about 2 years. And I'm Matti Mali, also known as hedonistic actor, and I do internet reviewing shows, Sportive and Oscar Tales from the North and such, and I'm trying to become a professional actor and or director / writer. The first video I published where I reviewed the first issue of Uncanny X-Men, I published it in July 2009, I think. Wow, gaining superpowers really turns you into a complete douchebag. And during the first 2.5 years I published videos, audience were kind of indifferent for my works. Nobody really watched them. Well, my viewership isn't that high even today, but back then not even many people commented about my videos, and the comments are the one that I want most. And the only comment I got about it at the time was that I forgot werewolf from the title, lol. What I'm supposed to say that it doesn't say anything to me. I don't get any wisdom from it. I don't get any advice, or is my direction the right? It was frustrating sometimes. Well, it's certainly nice to be a part of the community, and well, I don't comment so much to other people's stuff. It's still nice that I can sometimes talk about their work as well and have this interaction. And the especially great part about this is this podcast place.
What did you say to him? What did you say to make my husband kill himself? You probably told him to do it, didn't you, you sick fuck? You called him names, am I right? Maybe called him faggot. Told him he was going to hell. You knew how scared of you he was, and you fucking told him to kill himself, didn't you? You motherfucker!
I can do my ultimate passion, acting, and that's nice when there's people who share the same passions and hopes in life that I have.
You know, it's funny because the more interesting thing to me now is what can the community do? Not what can I do by myself. What can the community do? I'd be happy doing podcast plays for the next 10 years. Podcast plays, you know, writing them and, you know, producing them for other people and helping other people get them off the ground and acting in them has been the most fun I've ever had creatively, ever. It was everything that I had wanted the movie business to be. The podcast plays turned out to be.
Now then, this right here is a soup spoon. You can tell that it's rounder than the other soups laid down here on the table. We're going to start with the proper way of eating soup.
Will? I'm sorry. This is just a bit too much for me to absorb right now.
Great. We got a thinker on our hands.
Look, man, free will's a fucking joke. What has it ever gotten you, really? All hope does is make you feel miserable.
I just want to keep, you know, finding ways to bring the community together, doing creative things, and hopefully not only make some money off of it myself, but help those people to make some money off of it, help them to have a career. There's some talented people on this site that deserve to go out and be able to do everything that they're capable of doing.
The community has been, as I said, helpful. I've gotten to know a lot of people in the past couple of months. freelancer, producer, writer, contributor, disc jockey, actor. I think that sums it up fairly nice. And you're wondering what that means? It means that's me. I'm Tim Dunn, or better known as Tim Deanna. Hello, I'm Tim Deanna, enduring it in search for credit. Okay, Tim. We can do this. You got to the first one. How bad can the second one be? But to be on the safe side, I better take something for my nerves. Like vodka. And scotch. And Jameson. And more Jameson. I think I've killed enough brain cells to last this entire film. Let's keep going. Since, I believe, late February, early March, I've gotten to know people from not just all across the country, but all across the world. It's been nothing but impressive, and I hope to continue getting to know more people in the future. I have been in touch with James since I started being a part of the Manic Expression community, and I've been able to talk to him about all kinds of stuff and throw out ideas and discuss particular controversial issues. And you know what? It's been really helpful. I really, really appreciate James and all the hard work he's put into it and all the help he's given me and the rest of the community. I actually started filming at a very young age. I don't remember exactly how I got into it. I just liked doing it. I took a camera to a lot of places when I was younger. I actually got into video editing, I think, when I was in either high school or a little bit before that. I made this one music video with this random stuff to it. It was actually a lot of anime. And I just made it one day, and I liked it so much that I did it again. On That Guy with the Glasses forum. I remember seeing this post about someone says, like, if only we had a critic who reviewed newer movies. And that stuck in my head for a while, because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make a web series, or reviews about newer movies. And that was kind of the first thing that started Tim Deanna. Now granted, it's changed over the years, but that was that general thought. That's never really left my mind. I mean, really, to put it simply, the Manic Expression community has been nothing but helpful. Since I started posting videos on the site, I have gotten nothing but responses, particularly from Big Black Hat Man. He's been the most supportive of all the users.
I was really excited. I thought, this is great. This could be wonderful community, and I just had this great feeling like this could be something with everybody together here on the site, and it's had a lot of really positive things going for it. So I was on board instantly, and I started trying to read and watch everything, and I can't do that anymore, I found, because you guys have gotten too prolific. I've fallen behind on that sort of deal, but it just was a very positive feeling at a time when I needed something really positive in my life. So I really appreciate Manic Expression for that reason. Who am I? That's actually kind of an excellent question, because I think I've gone just a little bit schizophrenic at this point. I think about it, and a couple years ago, I was just Big Black Hat Man, a guy who wrote Western reviews in text. And then I started the video series this year and gave that character personality. He's kind of a snotty, know-it-all Western guy who's kind of mean to everybody around him. He's kind of a jerk.
Well, it seems as though we still have not pleased Muff. So I guess we have two choices at this point. We can continue down the path of education and goodness and try to appease this group, or we can try the second approach, which I'm going to do now. Neener, neener, neener.
Kind of the villain of my story, oddly enough, the main character. And then also, I've got all the other characters I am in the context of that show, and then I've got behind the webcam, where I'm Wallace A. Biff von Huffle IV. So, I'm all over the map. I'm Goofball, I'm Buck Dodert, Snidely Bodomfetter, and there's also Mark who hosts the podcast, and that's pretty close to the real me. So who I am is actually a bit complicated, I think, in the context of the Manic Expression world. But in the end, I'm just a farm kid, Mark, from western Nebraska, who likes John Wayne, likes Clint Eastwood, likes Westerns, and felt like expressing that point, and felt like maybe making some more points. And I just kind of keep going forward from there. So in the end, I'm just me, I guess, to answer the question, which seems like a bit of a cop-out answer, but philosophically, it's the only one that's true. I did go through a little period there where I wasn't getting comments, and it seemed like nobody was reading my stuff. Some people later told me they were, but I didn't think they were at the time. And so that taught me that you don't always do it for the rest of the world. Sometimes you just gotta do it for yourself, too, and it's worth doing, regardless. And it makes me feel better, and so I keep doing it going forward.
Well, when I first aired my web show, I aired it on MySpace for the first year of its existence before moving it to YouTube in January of 2010. And I didn't really get any feedback. The community has had a very positive effect on me. The thing is, they're very supportive, and unfortunately you don't see that in some internet communities anymore. I mean, some of them you'll see it, but a lot of them, not so much. I mean, no offense to the people on my old site, the Net Dwellers, but I really find that the Manic Expression community has been a hell of a lot more supportive than the Net Dwellers has ever been. And as for the other website I'm on, Reviewers Unknown, I think they're pretty decent when it comes to being supportive and stuff, but I think Manic Expression does take the #1 spot for being a very supportive and helpful community.
But, so yeah, originally I just posted copies of articles here on Manic, and originally I would just, it was like a backup putting it on Manic. But as time went on and I realized there was an audience, I started posting on Manic first, and I just back it up on that guy with glasses because everything's on there, so I keep everything together. That's how and now I'm able to get 200 blogs, which is remarkable. I never thought I would ever have that. My name on Manic is Rich Speed. It used to be Rich TV, but I decided that really didn't cover what I did, because I did blogs on sitcoms more than regular television. So I thought that was a little narrow, and I also covered other things besides sitcoms and television, so. And since everyone else was using their own name, I figured, what the heck, I might as well join the trend, and it's giving me a way to share interests that I don't easily share. I mean, I love comic books. You try sharing that with somebody. And sitcoms, even, and Star Trek. I went on a date once and I said Star Trek and her face turned green. You know, you never know. So that's what this community does for me. It gives me a place that I can share my interests. You know, and find out, hey, guess what? Some other people like what you like. It's just very nice to know. Sometimes you feel like you're the only one in the world who likes whatever it is.
You really just gotta make what you want to make instead of, try to, I guess, be something for a particular niche group. Well, my name is Ox Bigley. It's the name I use all over the place online. Kind of came from a nickname I had when I worked at Sears unloading trucks. Worked with a guy named Butch. Name really seemed to fit him. I mean, I know it's a sort of generic nickname, but so I kind of came up with Ox on my own. I was really into wrestling at the time. WWF, it was like early 2000s. So yeah, it started off as a wrestling, name, if you will. It was like Big Ox, and my last name. But I figured I shortened it down to make it sound like an actual person's name, Ox Bigley. I usually blog about, whatever's interesting to me, or if I have a particular, something on my chest, I rant about. It's usually what I end up doing. Ben Affleck's playing Batman! What the... I can't believe this. Holy crap, Batman, you're gonna suck! Attention geeks, nerds, and all your smelly brethren. It's time to take up arms, go to the streets, grab your pitchforks, torches, shovels, and replica Minecraft pickaxes, and let's go burn down Hollywood! A lot of my other videos are food challenge videos, which I actually got sort of inspired to do that by a guy named Mike C, who does videos on YouTube. He's quite proficient in doing odd food videos. So when I first started posting to Manic Expression, I got excited. I was like, hey, this is a new outlet. I can post my videos. I actually got some positive feedback from a lot of my stuff. Stuff that was going completely unnoticed on YouTube was actually, finding people that actually, liked it and commenting back and forth. Earlier in 2012, or in the middle of 2012, had a bout with depression. to the point where it almost met its apex, if you know what I'm saying. And I guess for whatever reason, I just decided to voice it. So I did a post on Manic Expression, also did one on Facebook, to which a lot of my friends on Facebook were like, "Hey, what's going on?" But also Manic Expression, people from Manic Expression kind of came out. People that I've never really talked to on there. And to my own detriment, I don't interact with a lot of people on Manic Expression. There's a lot of talented people on there that I really wish I could develop a dialogue with. But these people came out, and again, people I don't even know really, and was trying to offer a hand to me to make sure I was okay, make sure everything was fine. I'm very, very thankful to people at Manic Expression because of them reaching out to me in a time where I needed people to do that. It was that and other, my friends that kind of pulled me out of that at that time, and that's something that it really kind of strikes you when people you really don't know. Like I said, but you do have something in common. You are people who are trying to create things and entertain people. If not only entertaining yourself, we are people who create videos or create blogs. So there is that in common. But ultimately, like I said, we don't really know each other than our screen names half the time, and or at least that's true as far as I'm concerned. Sadly, like I said, I need to interact with more people on Manic Expression.
In the real life, I'm quite the same thing, except that people don't call me Lady Dandy. I'm a student. I study the Russian language in the at the university. I also started kendo, the Japanese with swords, but that's not interesting anyway. I really wanted to improve my English by doing something I liked, like talking about one of my favorite subjects, British stuff, actually. And so I think it's a success, because obviously when you listen to the first videos, or when I listen to the first videos, I'm really ashamed of my abominable accent. But maybe you don't hear the difference, you don't hear the difference, you English speakers, and I'm as bad as I was at the beginning.
Not exactly Lady Dandy, but one of her syndromes. She was too ashamed to make a top 10 of the hottest British actors by herself.
A very personal top 10, so feel free to disagree.
Yeah, feel free to disagree.
She's kind of frightening, isn't she?
Anyway, I think I improved, so let's say that I did. I had actually made like 10 videos or something, and I had no feedback, and I felt like shit, like, oh my god, my editing is bad, I'm a bad actress, my accent is unbearable and annoying, and what I say isn't interesting. I thought all of that, and then I saw someone on the forum, I don't know, anyway, of the website, that guy with the glasses.com, and the guy was saying, he was complaining about his lack of audience, actually, and like I was in the same case. So someone answered, you should go to Manic Expression, here you'll have feedbacks. And I went to the website. I don't know if the guy who complained in the first place did, but I did. And I get feedbacks, so that was great, really great. Honestly, I don't think I would have kept making my videos if I wasn't on Manic Expression, because the feedbacks were really important and it was really gratifying. I think I would have stopped sooner if I didn't found Manic Expression. Also the website is full of nice people, and that's rare on this big place full of shit that we call internet. I mean the internet. I mean, I've seen a lot of other French people posting videos in English and they get comments like oh, I don't understand, you French people talk like shit, or stuff like that, I don't know. As if you English speakers were good in French. Anyway, so on Manic Expression people are nice and you never get feedbacks like that. People are always they always explain it when they don't agree with you, and they do it with, they keep calm and call the doctor. That's nice.
I have to say, I've made some very good friends with several members of Manic Expression. Big Black Hat Man is a good buddy. Of course, Tim Deanna is great to work with. James, I never thought I would be on speaking terms with the main guy, but he's friendly with everybody. I'm Decker Shadow, the internet personality with the best hair. I'm Decker Shadow, the internet personality with the best hair. I generally review horror movies, action films, science fiction films, generally guy stuff. Honestly, I was just going for whatever it is I like to do, and I am a guy and I happen to like guy stuff. Who'd have thought? When I started posting to Manic Expression, my most recent video was the one I put up, The Stuff. And I got a very positive reaction where people were impressed by how professional my reviews looked, according to them. And I wasn't expecting such a grand reception, and I met some of the admins and they were very nice people. Sydney and of course James and Les all were treating me very, very nicely, and I just was honestly shocked by how good of a reception I got. I mean, yes, I got a few more views on top of it, which for how low I was on the totem pole was nice, but that wasn't what I was caring about so much as this great feedback from the community. And the next week is when I did my xenomorph biology scientific analysis video, which was very different from what I had normally done. Considering that the facehugger is for all intent and purposes a walking sex organ, this differentiation is not too outlandish. And since it was very different from the only other video I had posted on Manic Expression at the time, it was just a complete change for them. And I didn't know how anyone was going to take that, and if they maybe wouldn't know what to think of me, and they responded fantastically with that video, and I have just been going ever since, feeling great about how I do my videos, and feeling this great inspiration to just keep pushing harder and trying to make each video better than the last, if I can help it. And of course, I must mention that long-haired creepy guy. After a little bit of working together, we actually became rather fast friends, and we have a pretty good connection with one another. Not in that way now, but I mean, I can deal with him, you know, being a little creepy at times. He is, after all, that long-haired creepy guy. I can't say that I wasn't given fair warning. He's got a bit of a depressing and somewhat disturbing past, but in some ways so do I, so I guess that's why we get along as well as we do.
So, Here we are. The life and adventures of the creepy one. I remember reading in a magazine once that when a guy is in his underwear, he has nothing left to hide. I'm not entirely sure that that's factually correct, but since this is not really a big deal at this point, I figured what the hell. So where do I begin? Just shortly after I turned 2 months old, my birth father died in a rather graphic and gruesome accident that involved farm equipment. I'm actually being totally serious here and not making a joke. When I was 3 years old, my mother remarried. My stepfather was not a very nice man. I began to realize that in many ways I was very much alone. I still well, let's fast forward a bit.
One of the things I've never gotten is why he calls himself that long-haired creepy guy. I mean, I know the history, why he's refers to himself as such, but not why he thinks of himself as such. I mean, he's got unconventional mannerisms and unconventional fashion senses and unconventional mindsets. But on the other hand, I live in San Francisco. Creepy would be normal here. So when I hear about the people in the place where he lives referring to him as that long-haired creepy guy, but doing it unironically, being afraid of him just because he's big and has long hair and has, wears dark clothes, it hurts. It physically hurts when I hear him think of himself as creepy just because he's different. It's one of the reasons that I think manic expression is so important for him and important to him. Because no one there thinks he's creepy, or at least not scarily so.
I was never really boy enough for a lot of people. I was a voracious bookworm. I wasn't terribly interested in sports. And I suffered from night terrors.
I first met that long-haired creepy guy in May of 2012. I was curious, not just because of this benevolent man in the middle of, YouTube, but because of the nature of his name and how confused I was. It's like, who would call themselves that? Imagine my surprise then when I went to his site, saw him for the first time, and realized that not only is he not creepy, but he's actually incredibly cool and incredibly smart. We got to talking. I started off by leaving comments on his videos, and then it went into private messages, and then it went into full-on, chats. He invited me to Manic Expression, where I showed up to stalk him, and somewhere in January of 2013, we fell in love. Just over time, the feelings we had for each other just changed and grew and blossomed. And I haven't regretted it once. He likes doing what he does, even when he complains to me about it, because of the people that he works with. Because of the people like Decker Shadow, Trisha Miranda, Lake Black Hat Man, Tim Deanna, and Les, and James. And the list goes on. I don't even know all these people yet, but it's just, he told me that his life would be a lot more empty without Manic Expression in it. And he'd definitely be a lot more lonely. And I think that speaks for itself.
I'm sure at this point you're wondering, what's this all leading to? It does have a point. For as long as I can really remember, I have always had the stigma of being an outcast. At some point, it just sort of soaked into me. That was what I was. And I stopped trying to be anything else. I can remember when I made my first review, Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park, and I fully expected to get trolled to death. I never imagined this happening. Not really. I mean, you can hope things will turn out well, but then there's what you're expecting. This wasn't it. I never imagined being welcomed anywhere. And I'm still not quite used to it, I don't think.
I was kind of just declining in quality. It's like, oh man, only half the people like my video. I'll do one more and just see how it goes. And I'm glad that I did.
My finding of Manic Expression was really serendipitous and came at a time in my life when I really needed it. You know, I had met James and Les and Kyle and all those other guys. My name is Joel Daly, but I'm probably better known around the internet as the DVD Grouch. As long as I can remember, I have absolutely loved and adored movies. Pretty much since, since I saw The Lion King as a little kid. That was the first movie I ever actually saw in theaters, and it had a major impact in my life. I knew ever since I wanted to be around movies, wanted to talk about movies, wanted to be around people who loved to talk about movies. It was the summer, if I remember. My mom had actually gotten really sick. I don't want to go too deep into it, but needless to say, I had been spending a lot of time at home having to take care of her and that sort of thing, and pretty much just going stir crazy with nothing to do. So I really threw myself into my work and making videos, and it was around this time too I met Armin of the Comic Book Cast, who asked me to come on and guest for an episode.
So today, literally, Marvel does an event after event after event. It's just events. Now there's 3 events currently running.
Yep. And, you know, the thing, too, it's like, you know, everyone talks about summer movies, like, oh, it's the summer movie event of the year. It's gone to the point now where comic companies have realized, hey, we can have summer events and make it just like that.
And that one guest appearance ballooned into a co-host thing, and now we have a site of our very own. But back to Manic Expression, it was just so perfect that I'd actually checked my That Guy with the Glasses mail, which I hadn't in forever, and there was a letter from Les there saying that they had started their own site. In a weird way, it was kind of like a homecoming, you know, because I got to see people like James and Les, who I hadn't seen for a while. And it really did feel like a place like, wow, you know, I'm not just, you know, posting my own shit on someone else's place. This is like my place too, right? This is one website for the people, by the people, etc., etc. And it's a great feeling too to know when you put up a video, you're gonna get at least one comment. And more than anything else, that, you know, totally breaks my heart when I, you know, pour hours of my life into a video, then just don't get a single comment. Even if it's a shitty comment, even if it's a troll comment, you're gay. I would much rather have that than nothing at all. I want to move people one way or another, be it bad, be it good, be it benign. You know, I would never care about making money. It's the comments I love. If I could be paid in comments, I would be.
Manic Expression, the community itself, has affected me by giving me a safe place, because I know whatever the hell I post, it will be reacted with not trolling but actual genuine thoughts, which I like. It has, so Manic Expression community, thank you for giving me a safe place. I'm Joshikins, and of course that's not my real name, it's just my sort of pen name, you could say. Just like my fiance uses his pen name Rev Resner online. I'm 26 years old, I blog and I make videos.
So everybody go see it, enjoy it. She has a bunch of Twitters and blogs and stuff. Just name one, and that's what you're on.
No.
Oh my god. Alright, for the next 5 minutes she's gonna list shit. Just know I've got a Twitter somewhere.
I have Asperger's syndrome, and I am a gigantic science fiction and fantasy geek. I love those genres, especially science fiction, since you can do so many things with them. I believe my obsessiveness helps me in my production of my blogs and videos. There are a lot of times when things aren't going so well, and I still have to make content. And so the obsessiveness helps drive me through those down times. Plus, it helps me keep up with the nerdy news. You know, movie reviews, video games, etc. Helps me keep track of all those. I plan to, with my blogs and videos, make a little bit of money on the side. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love what I do, and that's why I do it. That's the core of the reason. I just like doing what I do, even though it keeps me up at night sometimes.
Silly dream. Many arts form through a person, medias of all kinds, pleasing and angering with every turn. For that is our reason to let others hear. For who else will? If we blindly only pick a selected few to hear, see, smell, feel, taste it, where'd it lead us? Smack down in the corner with a dream? If that is the outcome. For a fool of any of us not to reach out. We only get one chance to be us before another takes our place, and it will be wasted. Dreams may be so silly that they are nothing but a joke, but is our inside joke. A little laugh that we will not only prove them wrong, but carry on. For that is how a dream works. A joke, but it becomes real the more we smile, knowing it will become real. So laugh now. Cheer those who try. Will you all next time when tides finally change? And when you have a dream, laughter will come, but on better terms. Wave bye for now. Speak hello later.
I would love to get some of my film scripts and my TV series scripts. I would give just about anything to get one of those off the ground. My name is Alex DeCorville, also known as Alex the D, actor, writer, and content producer. Mark Twain once said, why put off till tomorrow what could be put off till the day after tomorrow? And I am that way. I will just put stuff off. I mean, obviously I've gotten myself motivated. I have gotten work created.
What about your pack-a-day cigarette habit?
Well, they say if you quit smoking, 10 years later, it's like you never smoked at all. As long as I stop, eventually, I'm in the clear.
The Manic Expressions community has had a positive effect on me because my show does have a lot of requests where people can ask questions for me to answer. And so that is one positive effect. It has given me more material, and I do always credit them. I do always include who asked the questions in my videos. I learned to be a little more confident in my material. I don't know how many of my fans noticed this, but there was actually a bit of a gap between episodes 2 and 3 of Movie Questions Answered. And truth be told, I shot 3 after 2. Well, obviously I shot 3 after 2. I shot 3 shortly after shooting 2. But I wasn't happy with it. I didn't think it turned out that well, and it was an episode I planned on calling on other people for cameos, and I thought, this is the episode I'm going to ask for cameos for? Ugh. But, you know, I put it out there, people liked it, and with episode 8, that was an episode I thought was pretty good, but it actually won Reviewtopia's Pick of the week it came out. Of course, I didn't find out that, of course, the episode was released in May. I found out in August. And I guess one of the things I learned is not to sell myself short.
It's become my passion to hang out at Manic Expression. Everyone there is fantastic. They're all great people. I honestly haven't found someone who isn't great in their own way. For those of you who don't know, my name is Michael. You know, I've always been interested in the gaming, writing, typical nerd stuff, you know. Most of you are probably into that kind of stuff too. It was like that new bar we could all go to and hang out. And that's sort of true. You know? Nice fun place to go hang out with some of your best friends. You know, I actually decided to start blogging because a couple of bloggers back on That Guy with the Glasses sort of inspired me in the way of, hey, this looks like fun. So I sat down and wrote my first blog. I enjoyed it a lot, so I decided, hey, why not continue? When I actually get down to the ground and do a project, I think the big thing is the amount of time you have to put into it. Like with most things, it's seconds of product equal hours of work if you're working on something hard, and that's always a pain. But you do it. One thing I think I tried to do in some of my later productions is less, but not a complete absence of swearing, because sometimes it's just not necessary.
Fuck.
Shit.
Fuck!
Not to say, like I said, not to say I don't do it in my blogs, but well, I suppose I've always had a decent sense of humor. I suppose that would have helped with the blogging aspect of it. You know, it's always just sort of come natural to me whenever I'm telling a joke. I've never really liked being overly serious about something, unless, of course, if it was something serious enough to justify that. You understand?
Especially the person I have to say thanks to. Well, actually, I have a couple people I need to say thanks to. Brett Club 85, who's been a big part of Something Cinematic. He's been the person to step up and, be a part of most of the podcast. I've really appreciated that. In fact, I appreciate everybody who's been on it.
I consider myself good with all the trivial details. My username is BrettClub85. I'm just a young man from the state of Wisconsin, and as you can tell, I have a multitude of interests. Writing, scary movies, comedy. I'm kind of all over the board in that regard. Like, one time I commented on Happy Birthday to Me, and how the fact that movie, the twist was not planned in the original script. Yet, if you've only watched a movie but never read up on it, you probably wouldn't know that fact. And I think who likes to dig into deeper details, I think that can help just make me say what I want to say sometimes. Initially on Manic Expression, I thought I'd be the slasher film guy. Heck, I'm wearing the Ghostface cloak right now, but I figure if I just stick to slasher films, then I really wouldn't have that much to say, so I expanded my list to animation-related and even video game and musical topics. I just figure you shouldn't confine yourself to one thing, that's all. I mostly started doing top 10, or in my case, 8 lists from the start, and those got some pretty good feedback. It was nice to see what people's opinions were on the same subject, and because one of the things I really like is hearing what people have to say. I'd like to hear that somebody checked out the original Prom Night because of how I keep raving on it, or how somebody gave from PBS Kids Sagwa the Chinese Cat a shot because I'm a fan of the show and expressed why in a couple blogs. I just think it'd be nice to know that sometimes what I've said has left some kind of impact, however small it may be in the grand scheme.
The real differences between myself and the moderately annoyed Canadian are I pretty much reserve most of my rants and my anger that I hold in this world, and I don't say it so much on the show because I don't want to upset anybody. I really feel as if that sometimes I do say the wrong thing, and anybody that really knows me understands that, and most of them get a kick out of it, of course, but I don't want to go onto the site and say things I might regret saying, because I do care about the people on the site. So I think the real difference between myself and that character is that I'm really trying to just make sure I maintain a level of tolerance in the world, because I don't want to piss anybody off.
Alright guys, you're listening to The Sabotage Show, and I am your saboteur, the moderately annoyed Canadian here, and I am sitting here in my robe tonight because I don't give a fuck.
When I turned 30, I was at a pretty big point in my life where I had done everything that needed to be done as an adult. I have my home, job, family, but what I needed to do was to look into my past and say, okay, when I was growing up, what did I want from life? And it was almost a midlife crisis, and I remember looking in the mirror one morning and saying, okay, I'm at this point where I need to do something for myself, more than just a hobby, but something I can actually look back on one day and say, I did it. And I need to do this for me. So I think what led me to doing the podcast, The Sabotage Show, was when I was a kid, when I was growing up, me and my friends, we used to set up in my basement, and it would look like we'd set up a TV set, and we would pretend to do these radio shows and record it with a voice recorder or tape recorder, and it was always something I really enjoyed doing, and it was something I really wanted to pursue even when I was in my early 20s, but just getting my life established, I needed to go through so many things before I could really find the time to do what I wanted to do for myself. So when I hit 30, it kind of just occurred to me that, hey, maybe this is something I can do. This is something I've always wanted to do. So I think that this podcast show was more for me than it was to try to gain any popularity or to gain views or subscribers. It was just something I needed to do at a point in my life where I felt like it was time to find what I wanted, to find myself in a way, I guess. Manic expression has really impacted my life a lot more than I expected it to. I went from literally never posting a video or doing a podcast or anything like that to continuously asking for work, pretty much. You go on there and it's really a strong community of people and friends. It's a family, and just coming on there, and you pretty much just, you want to help. You want to see this thing grow, because nothing has ever pulled me in like this site has. I've done like I said, I've been to other sites. I've done other shows and podcasts, but this site in particular, there's just something about it. I feel as if you just want to contribute more and more, and there's so many projects on the go, and there's so much push to get this site to grow more and just change people's lives, and really it has changed my life in a big way. I don't think I ever would have done this podcast if it wasn't for Manic Expression.
It's okay. You can always fall back on that lifelong curve male prostitute you had.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to that eventually anyway.
Well, yeah. You know. It's
just
hard to stay away from a career like that.
It really is. It just keeps pulling you back in. I started off as a stripper. Next thing you know, I'm sucking any guy off on the side of the street and for a nickel. Damn it.
Jesus, boy, you really get away there cheating Canada, man.
No, I pay him.
So I owe a lot of how my life has changed to the site, and to James, and guys like, and that long-haired creepy guy, Big Black Hat Man. We've developed quite the friendship. There's just a lot of good people on the site, and I think that when these new people join, they'll shortly find that out for themselves.
Oh man, I guess I'll start looking for a new job. Stupid Manic Expression.
you know, there was this whole side of me that nobody really cared anything for. Nobody saw any value in. And the Manic Expression community absolutely saw value in it. And, you know, to have people suddenly encouraging you, not only in the writing thing, but people writing you emails and saying how much they like you, how much they respect you. You know, that's life-changing. That's life-changing. You know, it was like this entire part of me that had lied dormant suddenly was thriving. And it was because I felt comfortable with the community at Manic Expression. It was because I felt like these people they've got my back. They're not going to judge me. That I was able to kind of open up and become, in a way, kind of the person that I'd always wanted to be, but never really had the guts to be.
A seed of genius, but it takes love, it takes intention, and the time is now. What you gonna do with all that love? What you gonna do with all that love? What you gonna do with all that love? What you gonna do with all that love?
So what does this all add up to? What does it mean? Yes, it's nice that Manic Expression is made up of kind, supportive people, but why is that important?
2 teenage girls have been arrested because of them bullying another teenager to the point where she committed suicide.
Look, if her Facebook posts are to be believed, based on what she's written, she appears to be vicious, right? And she went after this girl relentlessly. They moved away, and she still wouldn't stop. She's still hounding her and sending her messages.
And remember, it's not a simple type of thing where you say, oh, you're fat, you're ugly a few times and you move on with your life. This went on consistently for a year.
According to the Cyberbullying Research Centre, nearly a quarter of all students have been a victim of online harassment at some point in their lives. While bullying is as old as the schoolyard, victims used to be able to feel safe in their own homes. Not true in today's cyber world, where bullies taunt and torment their victims through social media for a worldwide audience. Sadly, many of those who are targeted online cannot cope with the abuse. Rebecca Ann Sedgwick, aged 12, threw herself from the top of an abandoned silo after months of unrelenting harassment online from her classmates. After her suicide, one of the bullies responsible took to Facebook and proclaimed, "Yes, I know I bullied Rebecca, and she killed herself, but I don't give a fuck." Rebecca's story is not uncommon. According to the Attorney General, 8% of those who are victims of cyberbullying attempt suicide. The numbers have risen dramatically since 2010, and the phenomenon has gained worldwide attention.
I virtually have no guy friends, and I only have friends that are girls, and it bothers me because people be like, faggot, fag, and they taunt me in the hallways, and I feel like I can never escape it.
At Manic Expression, administrators are ever vigilant to protect the community from trolls, and cyberbullies. While dissent and disagreement are allowed, abuse is not. What has risen from this stance against the rising tide of digital vitriol is a community that feels safe to be who they are. They will not be judged. They will not be called names. At Manic Expression, they will be accepted. Perhaps no one has said it better than Timothy Adam Murphy, better known on Manic Expression as MovieFan12, on the occasion of the site's 1-year anniversary.
We are a loving and caring family. Yeah, we're not a site, we're a family. And if you post here, you know that. There are so many great members here. James, thank you for giving us a home. Les, thank you for being the heart of our home. Mr. Smooth, another dude, thank you for being the creepy part of the home. I guess you need those too. There are so many great members here. Mark, as James said, you're the guy that pats us on the back to let us know when we did a good job. And I've always felt that. And truth be told, I always look forward to seeing your comments on my blogs because it always brightens my day seeing your comments. We, the community, are all the stars. Whether it be James, Cartoon Hero, Jockerly, Comic Book Cast, anyone, we are all stars here. So just keep on shining brightly.
Hi, my name's Les. I find great freedom to express myself on Manic Expression through blogs, videos, and like this.
What I want to happen with my videos is for them to explode in popularity. Not so much because I actually want to be popular or recognized on the street. People have already asked me for an autograph and I find that a little strange. But I just want to be able to actually survive off of the revenue that I make on my videos. I just really love making videos and reviewing things. I get to express my opinion, even if it means nothing, like me introducing myself as the internet personality with the best hair. Like my hair matters when it comes to my opinions. It's something that I really enjoy, and I'd love to be able to pursue that instead of having to do a daily grind to try and survive from day to day, as well as making videos, which takes quite a lot out of you. And it's having 2 jobs and one of them doesn't pay, so I'd rather just have one job that does pay, and I want that job to be making videos.
It's good to be recognized, it's good to have a lot of pop online and have a lot of attention, to have, get popular, which is something that I initially wanted to do, but I kind of don't now. I just want to enjoy what I'm doing because, that fight to become popular, it's like, then you have to keep it up, and that's, it'll become more difficult emotionally and more taxing on you.
The last thing I really want is to get them popular enough to go to a con and get some sort of panel for the show, a Q&A panel. That's a big dream, and I'm pretty sure that won't happen for a very long time, or ever at all. But it's a dream, or a high hope.
If it's not successful, then that's not a big deal. It's nice to try something new.
I'm perfectly fine being on Manic Expression and growing from there, because at least I have a chance to do so. I guess in both cases with both of my web series, I think they have an opportunity to become more. And who knows, maybe something will happen in the near future. Maybe we'll all be stuck in a hotel together filming our big anniversary video. You never know.
Goals? Believe it or not, I don't think I have goals. I mean, I really kind of jumped into this thing head first without really thinking about a long-term goal of any type, and I don't know if I think of myself in any sort of professional light, or maybe I could do something with this for a living. Maybe, I don't know. I'm such a live and let live person. Maybe that's why I don't have a long-term goal on it. That
be original, find your own voice, and you're probably not going to be able to find your own voice overnight. I've really discovered watching a lot of first videos. Making your first video on the internet is a lot like having sex for the first time. Really sweaty, really awkward, lots of strange tastes and smells going on. And you might not be happy with it, but you just kind of got to get it over with and get it out there for people to see and judge, and then you learn, then you move on, and then you make your next video better than your last. And always be challenging yourself too. I know some people might say I spread myself a little too thin because I do so many different types of videos. Reviews, top 10s, previews, so on and so forth. But always be challenging yourself. Always keep it interesting for you.
There's going to be some hard times ahead of you. It's not going to be easy. You might not get any respect, any recognition. So you're going to have to put a lot of heart. What I mean by that is, you're going to have to do this because you like doing this, not because you're going to be popular or you're going to become rich. You're going to have to do this because you like doing it. You really believe in doing it. Because look at me, I ain't that popular. I'm hardly recognized, but I still do what I do, and I put a lot of heart into what I do. Because I like what I do.
Use your strengths. If you are good at something, if you have a certain personality type, just play it to the hilt. Don't be subtle. You know, you were given a gift, use it.
I'd also recommend just speaking from the heart, not caring what people think, other people think, but also sort of seeing why people think that way. It's always good to have a bit of compassion in your work, or else you're just going to be lecturing people. You need to have, I don't know, a kind of sort of questioning tone to the blog.
I don't want to feel like this is a job. I want to feel like this is still, it's fun, it's outgoing. I don't think there's a problem planning for certain projects in the future, but I think for my personal show, I think I'd rather just, of the moment, you know, if I'm sitting in my robe and I have an idea, I'm going to come to my computer, I'm going to hit record, get on my mic, and just say what's on my mind.
I try to do what I like because life isn't worth living if you don't do what you like, I think.
What I've learned really from Manic Expression is there is a way for the world to move forward and get better. And it's so simple, and it can be done. Most people just don't want to do it. Luckily, we don't have any of those people on our site. Our site is for people who have a real, genuine vision of a future where we can all get along. And it gives me hope. It gives me real hope.
In September of 2013, Decker and James presented the first clips of this documentary at MetaCon, an entertainment expo held in Minneapolis, Minnesota. This was Manic Expression's first panel at a convention, but was not the last. Just a month later, comic strip critic appeared at PandoraCon in Cincinnati, Ohio. Manic Expression continues to grow and flourish. As of October 2013, the member count has grown to nearly 360 members. The site has received over 1.3 million hits. Dozens of news videos and blogs are posted daily, while massive site-wide crossovers, such as their 2-year anniversary film, A Sight in Scarlet, written by David Reich, have become more commonplace. A script is currently in the works for an animated feature film that will star many of the site's most popular members, based on the idea by James Walsh. Manic Expression the movie is being written by Patricia Miranda and Martin Thresher. The movie will begin pre-production in the spring of 2014. Despite all its success, Manic Expression remains a community first. The site has flourished with minimal advertising, growing by word of mouth alone, as the internet continues to become more of a presence in our lives. Many would use this tool as the anonymity it offers to spout hate and harass. For the members of Manic Expression, it's a comfort to know that somewhere in the World Wide Web it's safe for them to be themselves, and that instead of being bullied for their insights, they will be embraced. They still can't get creepy to put any pants on though.
Not gonna happen.
Beckon smooth, they tease her, even taunt her. While they were teasing, she was reading, getting smarter. Reading her way out of poverty, she grew to be the woman who coined Change Your Life TV. What goes around comes around. Place your bet better, yet lay your money down. Nickel today becomes a dollar tomorrow. What goes around comes around, yeah. Amber carried a Colt 45, selling crack. She watched her back all of the time. She knew there'd come a day when she'd have to use it. She didn't think through it. Now that horse would turn on her in a back alley. What goes around comes around. Place your bet better, yet lay your money down. Nickel today becomes a dollar tomorrow. What goes around comes around, yeah, 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 yeah.
Their group did violence to group would get attention.
The confrontation has baffled India's financial markets.
Tanya Washington of Brookstone High School received a full-ride scholarship today from the Kids Farm Foundation.
Life is a Taj Mahal or a dead-end street. Do you breathe it in like air or kick it off its feet? You taste it sour or is it something sweet? Are you the one who chooses how it's gonna be? What goes around comes around. Place your bet better, yet lay your money down. Nickel today becomes a dollar tomorrow. What goes around comes around. Comes around. Place your bet better, yet lay your money down. Nickel today becomes a dollar. What goes around comes around. What goes around comes around. Place your bet better, yet lay your money down. What goes around today becomes a dollar tomorrow. What goes around.
That's life.